What is the one piece of career advice you wish you were told when you started out?
Yeah, so the one piece of career advice uh, that I really wish I would have known when I started was to not be afraid of failing. I know, and it's a pretty catchy term, and it's very well known, but it's really important. Whenever you start something, um, there's always a fear about where if I fail, what it's gonna look like, how people are going to perceive me as a professional, and things like that. But it's actually the greatest tool, and it's actually the greatest time in your career when you can actually fail, and that will give you an opportunity to learn immensely. And you don't have to think about what people uh, have an opinion about in your approaches or in the way you're doing work or the problems that you're trying to solve. It's just a matter of trying and failing, and you have to fail fast, and you just have to make sure that you don't fail because of the similar approach or make the same mistake again. So yeah, that's one piece of advice I think I would have be very happy to have received when I started things. Yeah.
What was a pivotal moment in your journey that had a significant impact?
Yeah, the pivotal moment for me in my journey is when I joined my first startup. And the reason it's pivotal because I always worked as a professional, like as a software engineer. But when I joined my first startup, that's when I really understood uh, how important it is to look from a business perspective, from a perspective of how my work is getting contributed to, like making real money or contributing to any particular cause or anything, like the realistic value of the time and effort that I'm putting in. So you get out of your own way by like focusing not just on solving a particular piece of code or a problem or designing something. You also understand like your bigger contribution. And by working in a startup, I started zoning out a bit and understanding any piece of work or any card that I'm working on. I used to understand and ask questions around like, okay, how is this going to impact the whole system? How is this going to impact what's the business impact of this thing? Which gave me more insights on like understanding how I'm progressing in my career, as well as how I'm trying to solve big problem. How is my contribution adding? And working in a startup gets you to do a lot of work, right? It's not just like you're working on a small part on a machinery. You're thinking of the whole system, and I learned a great deal in that. Uh, from being a good team player to team management to looking at solving big problems and giving my 100% in terms of the whole business as such, and not just like in a specific part in the code or something like that. So that I still think is a pivotal moment. I learned a great deal and still like applying all those principles in my current work. And yeah, that's it.
As a leader, what key attributes are you looking for when hiring for your roles?
Yeah, so this is so I try to be pretty articulate in this ones. The first thing and the foremost is like when I'm hiring, the thing that is very important is to hire for like to have a specific capability metrics for a particular role that you're hiring for, and hire people whose skill set match those capability metrics. And the reason it is important is like twofolds. It's good for the organization because they get someone who can hit the ground running and start contributing. And it's also important for the individual because then they get the confidence and the morale is boosted because they are not in a foreign territory. So they are in a comfort zone. They understand things, whatever they're doing, and so the confidence grows. If there's a disconnect and you hire someone like, okay, they will learn, or they will do something, but that's not your actual job description. If you're hiring for someone into like a graduate or fresher, which makes sense, then there's a wiggle room for learning, right? But if you're hiring a senior or someone who's expected to hit the ground running, then the skill set should match. In that case, their confidence is high, their morale is boosted, and then there's very less chances of they jumping the ship early in the role. So that's one thing. The second thing is the ability to learn, or the keenness to learn new things is a very important factor. So during the interview process, one thing I'll really try to grill into is okay, what if there are things that you don't know, and or something that comes up, like now there's so many in technology, there's so many new things that keep coming up, like even with AI, there's so many aspects of things that you need to learn to keep your game up. In that thing, the ability or the keenness to learn new things is very important. So that's something that I look for, and what's their vision in terms of what they want to learn themselves, and where they see themselves, and what they want to achieve in a period of time, right? So that's something that I try to look into. And the third and the last but not least is if they are a team player. I feel software engineering is a team sport. It's there are always good talented people in the company, and in multiple organizations, but it is a team sport. If you really want to succeed at something, then you need a good team. And for having a good team, you need people with the right mindset, who are willing to upskill others, help others, and as a team grow into a direction or achieve a goal as a team. So these things the skill set being matched, the individual's ability to learn new things, and they being an excellent team player are the key attributes I look for when I'm hiring.